Hello and welcome back. It is me again, and today we're starting on another tainted character. This time it will be Samson, which means we will be talking about Samson. Which also means we're starting off with Gridier mode, and there's no nearby music cue, so we get to it. Just a side note, I am still going roughly in order of what I believe to be the easiest to hardest characters, and Samson is one of the easiest for sure, because although the previous characters have arguably benefited from their tainted abilities, and I stalled long enough. Nice. Samson here truly is just like a normal character. Like, his tainted ability is that he gets mad when he takes damage or gives enough damage, and that sends him into a brief... sure, I'll take that. Why not? Sends him into a brief melee rage mode, but that is it. It is sometimes a good thing and sometimes a bad thing, and that's all there is to it. He's a very boring character otherwise. I mean, don't get me wrong, it can be a lot of fun playing him as well. There are some bosses especially which it is very fun to play Samson with, because I can just go up and smack him and like beat him to a pulp. And yet, a lot of the time, his ability is also... maybe not a lot of the time, but certainly some of the time, his ability, his melee mode, is kind of a nuisance. I wish it activated under different conditions or at different points in time or something like that, but here in greed mode, we are actually quite fortunate because things work out pretty well for him. Oh, scary. I'm gonna run out. Oh. Get him. Woo. Go get him, go get him. And yeah. Yep. And that's Samson's character in a nutshell. There really isn't much more to him gameplay-wise than what you have already seen. Again, I am generally going from the perspective that you, dear viewer, are not accustomed to this game. Perhaps you are, but I won't assume it. Anyway, I mean, range and damage would be good, but Jesus Juice also kind of sucks as an item. Sure, yeah, that's pretty good. Maybe I will take Jesus Juice now. Maybe. In fact, I will. And watch... oh, okay, I was gonna say something even better has replaced it, but it didn't. Thankfully. Oh. Get him, get him. Okay, cool. Anyway, let's start getting to the story of Samson. This is one of the more famous characters in the Old Testament, if you need a brief reminder of where exactly he comes from. He is biblical, as with a lot of the characters in this game. Ooh. I mean, it doesn't hurt. And we got cheap keys. Nice. Nice. And now we take you. So, Samson is found... his story is found in the book of Judges, chapters 13 through 16. Again, this is in the Old Testament or the Hebrew Bible. Either or. Since they're, you know, the same thing and all. So he only has 4 chapters dedicated to him, inclusive, 13 through 16 inclusive. I think he's inclusive. I didn't actually verify that, but you gotta remember that not all counting is exclusive. Get out here. And for a bit of context for the judges themselves and the Book of Judges as well, this was a very unusual time in Israel's history where they had just entered the Promised Land, really, but they actually had no executive leadership at all. Although, as a nation, they were controlled at the time by, I want to say, the High Council, effectively. They didn't, again, have any real authoritarian leadership. They didn't have any kings or any similar ideas. That move always hits me. They had no I should have gotten a bomb. Oh well. They had no concentration of power, someone to make quick decisions for them, although they had armies. It is unclear, from what I recall anyway, how they were led at this time, since, again, I mean, I guess they would have had generals or leaders, but that... Oh... Sure, don't give me range. I'll take it. Just checking, just checking. So, again, they would have had generals, probably, or some sort of military leaders, but yet it's still kind of unclear how much autonomy they had, or would have had. And coupon is not bad. Depression! I may take coupon. Thank you, coupon. And I will save the charge for next floor, because none of those particularly get me going, you know? Anyway, whenever the people of Israel found themselves in a crisis at this time... Well, I'm gonna use the... not use the stat boost in a second here, aren't I? Oh, okay, not really what I wanted, but I'll come back for you. Nice. Okay, and nothing. Does this get rid of it? Yeah, it sure does. Okay, wasn't sure, and now we know. And now I got range. Great. And there it goes. Ooh, very nice, very nice. If I had one less heart. Oh, yeah, okay, that works too. And... any bombs in here? Nope. Okay. Anyway, still continuing on with this brief history lesson, if you will. Basically, whenever there was a crisis, a judge, a so-called judge, would simply appear, seemingly as though appointed by God, and these judges usually came from unusual backgrounds. One of them was left-handed, another one was a woman. Could you imagine that? But that is the gist of how the judges worked and who they were, and Samson was the last of these judges. Now, the short of the story is that Samson was supernaturally strong because he was born special. He was born under or with a sacred vow in mind, sort of. I'll get into details with that in a second. Nice. And he never shaved or cut his hair as part of this vow. This vow was really just a vow to God, but ultimately it was God granting him his strength. And so what happened is then he had a lover, Delilah, who was basically a spy, kind of. Although, I mean, he should have absolutely known better, but whatever. Again, I'll hash it out a little more in a second here, but again, the gist of it is Delilah was a spy and tried to get the secret to his power, and then found the secret to his power. Eventually discovered, or actually Samson eventually told Delilah that cutting his hair would get rid of his power. And so she did. And I want this. And I want this. Degas. Okay. And I want this. And so she did, and he lost his power, and then he was tortured and captured, and then at the end of his life, his hair had grown back after many years of captivity, and he sacrificed himself in order to win against the bad guys, and that's the story. And yeah, I'll take it. Twisted Pair, not bad. Not bad at all. That is as good as Incubus right there. I'll take it. Extra bombs, okay, okay, and the devil. Alright, let's use Degas here. I'll keep the devil on me. And I really want another key, but okay, I'll get another key next floor. Let's go into more depth here. So Samson was born to a barren woman after an angel told her she would have a son dedicated to God as a Nazarite. This is that vow that I mentioned, the Nazarite vow, which has a number of stipulations in it. Whoa. Does this... Okay, it does apply. Wasn't sure. Ooh. Excellent trinket, and you scare me. But I could get one of you for free. Soon. Soon. I don't really want anything else here, so we fight. Let's see. To just very briefly summarize the Nazarite vow and everything that it entails, because it entails a lot. Basically, don't conform to worldly standards of beauty, be natural and unshaven, don't consume anything made from grapes, including wine, and I want to say those were just like the two major parts of it. Maybe there was something else. Oh, you gave me speed? Really? I didn't even pay attention. But this is pretty good. Oh, scary. Well, took care of that pretty quick. I want the trinket, please. Yay! Excellent. And I will need you, and I will give you some money. Anyway, let's see. Let's look at the summary for Nazarite. Here, someone who must not cut their hair, drink alcohol, or touch the dead. Ah, yes, that was another part of it. Really, dude? I mean, okay. Oh, thank you. Samson's immense strength came from his divine vow, particularly his uncut hair. Well, I mean, sort of. Really, it's the vow itself, not like the hair specifically. The hair was just part of the vow. The important part of the vow for the sake of the story. Let me put it that way. And this is the part of playing Samson where his rage ability gets annoying, because it just procs too much if you deal too much damage. It just happens all the time, and then it's like, I don't want to always be in melee mode. I have a good ranged build. Anyway, Samson became a judge of Israel during a time when the Philistines oppressed the Israelites. He was famous for killing a lion with his bare hands. Uh-oh, I'm getting cornered here. Oh. And it actually came in clutch because I can redirect stuff. Yay. Give me... Oh, yeah, it can't be an angel room. Wow, more damage up. I mean, No, I'm actually not interested, sorry. I want to save my health for something more valuable. Like a 401k. More bombs. Neato. Anything else I can or want to do here? I don't think so. So we continue. Let's see, he also slayed 1,000 Philistines with the jawbone of a donkey, and he carried the gates of a city on his shoulders. I don't know if you know this, but city gates in the ancient world were pretty big. Really big. So, good on him, you know. I am interested in getting mini mush. I would like to be even smaller. I don't care for any of those, really, so I would rather just take you right away. I am so small, but I have good range now. And isn't that what matters more? Oh, hello, astral projection. Cool. Anyway, Samson's weakness was his love for Philistine women. Or, I guess just women in general, really, but one particular Philistine woman. Woman. One woman. Women? Woman. Whammon. Ugh. This is getting sloppy. Oh well. Whoa. Do it, do it, do it. There. Never quite as early as I want it to show up as an ability. Get it. Yeah. Oh. Okay, I didn't want you to spawn him, but that's okay. He fell for Delilah, who was bribed by the Philistines. Uh-oh. Oh, final wave. Never mind. I don't need to worry. Delilah was bribed by the Philistines to find the source of his strength. After repeated questioning, he eventually revealed that it was his hair. Ooh. I'll keep you with me. Actually, no, hold on. Let's take you with me for the next... Wait, there's a penny in here? Oh, there sure is. Nice. Let me get these next two charges on my coupon. Yeah, Samson eventually revealed that it was his hair, although he gave her several false answers first, and somehow still kept loving her, even though, like, she very clearly betrayed his trust. And that is not seen as something noble. That is not a virtue of him. This is a vice of him. Delilah had his head shaved while he slept, and the Philistines captured, blinded, and imprisoned him. And yeah, I'll use a bomb here. And now... Ooh, two of these guys, huh? Got him. Nice. And then, at the end of his life, in his final act, while imprisoned, Samson's hair grew back because time had passed, you know? Let's actually use you first. Ooh, not bad. Range down, that's unfortunate. One makes you larger, that's unfortunate too. Tears down, that's pretty bad. But, you know, balls of steel, I'd like to say made up for that, but it didn't. Oh, I forgot to grab the thing again. I could have had one extra charge. Ooh. Ooh. Neat, I broke even. I mean, I guess I could. I will, in fact. It's not bad. At least I do good damage. Anyway, during a Philistine celebration, he was brought to their temple to be mocked. He prayed to God for strength one last time and pulled down the temple's pillars, killing himself and thousands of Philistines, thus avenging Israel. And that is the story of Samsung Galaxy S3. Sigil of Baphomet. Interesting. I mean, I don't really care for most of those, but it's the thought that counts. Next, let's dive into some related theological, historical, and what's the other word I'm looking for? Symbolic perspectives on the story of Samson. Would you give me something already? Cool, thanks. I'm fine with that. Oh. You were worthless to me in the end. At least I made some money back. Oh, good amount of money too. Nice. Actually, Jar of Hearts might not be a bad idea for me, but it's a little too late. So, one of the first ideas in talking about Samson, theologically, that is, one of the first things to consider is divine sovereignty and human weakness, these themes as they show up in Samson's story. I'm gonna need to focus here. Oh, they always hit me. That move always hits me. On the bright side, I shoot at supersonic speeds. And by shoot, I mean I flail around. Whoa. Good. I managed to get him away. To stop the little... those things. The moving spikes. Before it was too late. What did I get? I got you? Okay, I'll keep that in mind. And... yeah, we go. Oh, hey, buds. So, Samson as a narrative shows how God's purpose... oh, there you are. ...is fulfilled even through flawed individuals. Uh-oh. Okay, good. Phew. Samson is chosen before birth to be a Nazirite set apart for God's service. And despite his impulsiveness and moral failings, God uses him to begin delivering Israel from the Philistines. Hold on. There we go. I totally forgot until literally just this moment that I could have used and saved the coupon up to use in Devil Deals. Oh well. No hearts. Oh, there we go. Well, I have gotten almost every negative pill, haven't I? I knew they all couldn't be bad. I didn't even use the devil. Or, death. I will save the devil for next floor still. Yeah. Potato peeler? I don't want that. I don't want that at all. I didn't actually mean to take it. I don't care for any of those, really. I mean, that would technically give me one extra heart, but red health is more important right now. There. There's death. Cool. And I take the devil. I take you. I take you, I guess. I blow you up because none of those look great. And then I guess I take you. It's the heart healthy run today. Anyway, this theme of divine sovereignty, despite human weakness, aligns with the recurring biblical theme that God's strength is made perfect in human weakness, which is consistent both in the Old and New Testaments, of course, because that's a very Christian-sounding theme. Although it certainly is, Jewish as well. Here we go. Okay, next, the Nazarite vow. Samson's life was governed by the Nazarite vow, which included abstaining from wine, avoiding corpses. Which actually is a good point. The first time Samson actually ever... What did... oh, okay. I don't know what hit me. The first time Samson actually tests God, or, you know, does something he's not supposed to, has nothing to do with Delilah. He actually... feeds from some honey that grows out of a nest inside of a lion's corpse, I think is what the text says. So he found a lion's corpse with a bee nest growing inside of it, and he ate honey from it, and because that's technically touching a dead thing, he knew he shouldn't have, but then he lied to his own mother about where he got the honey from. So, yeah, he was flawed in more ways than one. I hate this fight as Samson. That was some wild physics right there. Anyway, let's see. So abstaining from wine, avoiding corpses, and not cutting one's hair. The Nazarite vow can be found in Numbers chapter 6, by the way. Theologically, this represented total consecration to God. I can't wait for the first half of this fight to be done. Boy, do I hate it with Samson. Well, I got a heart around here somewhere. I mean, I just lost it, but... Hey, stop that! That's part of the reason why I hate this fight. That hitbox while he's spinning is so terrible, even still. Come on! There, finally! Theologically, this represented total consecration to God, which I said Samson's violation of this vow mirrors Israel's covenant unfaithfulness, making him a metaphor for the nation's spiritual condition. And that's some good damage right there. Get back here. Would you stop? Oh, yeah, it figures. Would you stop? Get him, get him, get him. I'm just gonna wait to read the rest of this until after the fight, you know? Probably smart. Stop it. Bad greedier. Ultra greedier. Bad. And there we go. Much better. See, not too shabby at all. Strength? Nice. Next, themes of judgment and mercy. Despite Samson's values, his vengeance, his fornication, and ultimately his betrayal, God grants him a final act of redemptive power. This highlights themes of divine judgment tempered by mercy and the idea that repentance can lead to restoration even in death. Symbolically, Samson's hair is a symbol of his covenant. I don't need to go into depth with that one. Blindness and sight. So Samson's blinding by the Philistines is symbolic. He was spiritually blind long before he lost his physical sight, led by lust and ego rather than divine guidance. His physical blindness ironically leads to spiritual insight in the end as he turns to God to give true dependence. In true dependence, not to give. You can't give dependence, I don't think. And the temple collapse. So the destruction of the Philistines' temple is symbolic of divine judgment. It's also a foreshadowing of the fate of anyone, the fate awaiting in any pagan system. What am I doing? I've completely misread this sentence. It's also a foreshadowing of the fate awaiting any pagan system that opposes God. The temple collapse echoes apocalyptic themes of the ultimate triumph of God over idols and false power structures. And historically, First of all, the period of the Judges itself. So, Samson's story occurs in a time of tribal disunity and moral chaos in Israel before the rise of kings. The refrain, "Everyone did what was right in their own eyes," in Judges 21:25, captures the lawlessness of this period. Samson reflects the era's spiritual confusion, chosen by God but driven by personal motives. Next, the Philistine threat. The Philistines were a dominant military power in the coastal regions of Canaan. They had superior iron weapons and urban centers, posing a real and enduring threat to the Israelite tribes. Samson's localized victories against them reflect Israel's broader struggle for survival and identity. And lastly, cultural intermarriage and assimilation. So Samson's attraction to Philistine women, notably his unnamed wife and Delilah, which, yes, he did have a wife, by the way, an unnamed wife, and then he also pursued Delilah, reflects the historical tensions around intermarriage and assimilation. And if I recall correctly, his unnamed wife is also Philistine, but that was worked out in a way that people were eventually happy with within the story. Such unions threatened Israel's religious and cultural distinctiveness and often led to idolatry, an ongoing concern throughout the Old Testament. And that will do it for discussing who Samson was and is and what he's doing in this game. Because the story of Samson is rather famous after all, at least in the context of the Bible. So thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. I hope you learned something today, and I hope to see you again tomorrow for another day of Samson. Take care.